Welcome back to First Year in Medical Device Sales. I am your host, Jacob McLaughlin. I am so excited to be coming to you all today, as I always am, because it's all about providing you as much value that I can and hoping that it's going to help you crush your 2024 goals. And I wanted to make this because I've been getting a lot of people reaching out, and the big thing that I've been seeing is brand new reps. And the thing I always hear is, hey, Jacob, I just broke into the industry. What do I do? Now, we've had some other podcasts that have touched on this and gone into it. This is for the associate sales rep, the rep that just got in also, who might be a full line rep, which we just had one of our students do that. And we had a podcast with them earlier today. But also, hopefully, this is a reminder to reps that have been in for a while, seasoned reps, that maybe there's some things that you haven't been doing that you could be doing. And I know we touched about it on having success in 2024, but I really wanted to touch about what I commonly see most new reps missing and why they're not having success right away. And going into that point of, we always hear it's going to take you 2 years to get from an associate to a full line rep role. And honestly, we've helped so many people go from associates to full line reps in rep roles in 8 months, 12 months, 18 months, not the 2 years. Like, you can do it so much quicker, because it goes back to, if you can play the game, you can win the game, right? And if you already know what you need to be doing, you can have success a lot faster. Then that can allow you to be able to progress your career, go for positions, whether it's in the same company or you go to a new company. And that's always a conversation we can have in a different day of like, hey, you should be staying where you're at, or should you go? The one thing I will just continue to tell you guys, I always say this just out of love, and hopefully it helps you. If you've been in medical device sales for the last 2 years and you make, and you're a rep and you make under $110,000, you should probably start looking somewhere else. And before anyone attacks me and before anyone freaks out, I get this all the time, especially from the ortho reps. I'll have ortho reps. I've literally talked to 3 ortho reps in the last 30 days that are all in med device sales. They've been grinding. They run the trays. They do 80-hour weeks. They're in sports medicine or whatever it is, and they're not even taking home before taxes $110K. And the only reason I'm just telling you that is, like, in new to medical device sales, our course that we help people get hired in the industry, we've gotten multiple people. One of our most recent hires was somebody who had no medical device sales experience, and we got them hired at $130K. And so the reason I'm just telling you that is, I've had people, I'll tell them that, and they'll be like, that's not true. It can't be, all that. And it's like, you don't have to believe a word I say. I'm just trying to help you all, because again, go look at certain companies and they start reps with a 85K base and an 85 at plan, right? Like, there are other things other than just the division you're in. And so again, and that's not just ortho, there's every division, but I would just tell you, so many people come in, they get stuck into their division, stuck in their company, and then they don't ever talk to other reps. They don't talk to other people. They don't see what else is out there. And that really pigeonholes you, because I can just sit here and tell you, as someone who does this every day, who literally talks to hundreds of people per month, there's so much different opportunities. Just for the fact of, I still tell people, they're like, oh, the days of making $200,000+ in med device sales are gone. And let me just tell you, my friends, they are alive and well, and you can definitely do that. It just matters where you're at, what company, what division, what territory, what product you're selling, all that good stuff. But if you've always just been doing what you've been doing and you don't look at anything else, then you might not know about it. That's what I would just tell you. And then always just be curious, because I'll just sit here and tell you, the one rep that I talked to who's like, no, that's impossible. My manager said this. And I'm like, your manager's been there in the same division for 15 years. And guess what? You're a good rep and you're staying there for the same amount of time, and they're making money off you, right? So I would just be curious is my final advice on that. So getting into today's episode, let's go into really what I wish I would have known when I first started out. And my advice to new reps in medical device sales is, number one is always taking it a day at a time. Again, I get so many messages of people just starting, literally just got jobs, about to go to training, or they're in the first 3 to 6 months in the field. And what I see is everyone's already trying to plan 3, 6, 12 months. They're like, I'm going to be a President Club winner. I'm going to do this. And I'm like, you don't even know what you sell yet, right? And so it's always a joke of like, hey, how about we take a day at a time? How about you understand what you sell? How about you understand what accounts you have, understand who you need to talk to, just understand the basics, and then we can start planning about everything here in the future. But what I would just continue to encourage you all is just make sure you're taking a day at a time, because the number one thing I see is you're going to have people who get overwhelmed. There is so much information in this industry. Again, when you come into medical device sales, it's like learning a brand new language, as you all know. New terms, new products, learning anatomy, learning clinical actual terms and like actually how to talk to a surgeon. It's very different, right? And so there's just so much that comes into it. And then also, not to mention credentialing, learning the company, all the stuff you have to get done for the company, like the mission statement, all the stuff that just is added into there, besides just doing the job. So what I would just say, and my friendly advice is every single person who breaks in, take a day at a time. It sounds super simple, but these are really good reminders. I still have to tell myself that. Literally today, I had 18,000 things I need to do. And it's like, hey, let's focus on what we can get done today. That's going to help our territory. That's what's going to actually be able to push it. Because again, there's the difference of being busy and being productive, right? There's going to be days you have long days and you got to do it. But for example, I always prioritize. This morning when I did this, I literally was like, okay, I have these 18 things I need to do, but these 4 things will actually be quotes that will actually generate money. So we're going to do those first. Then we'll worry about everything else. Are they demanding of my time as well? Yes. But at the end of the day, I'm in sales and I have to make money. Otherwise, I'm not going to be in sales very long, right? So that's something I would just encourage you about. Number 2, get to know your accounts. I see this, the most common thing I see is someone just being like, I'm just going to come in, I'm going to start selling. I'm going to just, hey, A, B, C, D, I'm going to be the top rep. I see this all the time. And the reality of it is you just need to know who you're working with. Who's the coordinator that you're going to be working with? Who's actually the director that you're going to be working with? Who's the people that you need to know? Can you get to know supply chain? Can you get to materials managers? Those people that are actually going to make a big difference in your career, the people that actually matter, get to know those people. And can you go show that you're providing value? Can you go meet with the nurses? Can you go meet with the staff? Can you go meet with the surgery schedulers and all those different people inside? Again, like when I was doing it, you have the hospital staff that is big where your surgery is going, but also like if you're going to surgeons and you're calling on people, but you have relationships, guess what? One of the biggest things that I did was make best friends with the surgery schedulers, with my top surgeons. Guess what? Loved me. Hey, Jacob, we have this. Can you come do this? And then guess what? If they were using somebody else or if there was anything else that needed to be done and I could help them out, I would. And then guess what? That turned into more volume, other things that came from it. Oh, referrals to other people, because you have to understand these people all know each other and surgeons know other surgeons, surgery schedulers know other surgery schedulers. And if you guys don't know this, a lot of the staff, again, staff recycle very fast in a med device world, and not from like an R standpoint of like an office staff at a surgery office, right? Or like if they're seeing a surgeon, they're going to go see consults at like the doctor's office, and that staff moves around. So you might know somebody there that moves to another office within the same specialty. Make sure you guys are getting to know your accounts and who are the important people there, which again, everyone's important, but just knowing who they are, what's their name. Like one of the biggest things that helped me create relationships and grow my accounts was just getting to know the human beings. Like if I found and I met Rick, hey, what's Rick's story? How long's he been doing this? What did he do before this? What made him get into this? What's Rick's family like? And that's what helped me so much. Shout out, Rick, you're my boy. But like he was one of the guys at one of my biggest accounts, and just getting to know him. He was one of the nurses, and just, it was such a big thing for my life. So the next point that I have is being a resource and not a sales rep. And this is the one that everyone needs to hear. I can't tell you again, like I've mentioned already before, I'm going to come in, I'm going to crush these sales, I'm going to do this. And it's like, you don't even know what you sell, first off. But instead of being the pushy sales rep, which just so you know, we've all been there, we've all seen it. You come out of training, you're all excited from training. Everyone tells you you're going to make millions of dollars, you're going to go crush it. And then they're like, go regurgitate everything you just learned to the people that you met. Instead of doing that, instead of being like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, this is what our stuff does, this is why we're better than competitors, this is blah, 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 blah. Guess who usually doesn't care? Everybody. Because the reality of it is they want to know who you are. Instead of focusing on selling for the first 3 to 6 months in your accounts, how about you just focus on being a resource to your accounts? Have them get to know who you are, how you are as a rep. Do you show up on time? Do you keep your word? Are you fun to be around? Can you be a resource? And again, do you help in the room? Do you just sit there and do nothing? Are you on your phone all the time? Like, that's the thing, is when you're in those rooms, yes, we have to take calls. Yes, we have to be on emails. There's a lot of going on in our lives, text messages, whatever it is. But in the same respect, can you be intentional, right? Can you be able to have the conversations as long as it's not going to slow the staff nurse or the staff around or the SPD or anybody that's you're going to be having conversations, right? When I go down to SPD, grab my tray, like, hey, can I just say hi, have a real quick conversation? That's not going to mess up their day. Can I take that tray back up to the room? Can I then give it to the nurse and then the nurse has it? And again, then they're going to go take it to the scrub tech. How is that day looking? How stressed are they? Reading the room. Can I give it to them and we can rock and roll and have a conversation? Or are they on it? They're brand new or they're stressed and I'm just going to give it to them and I'm going to get out of the way. But just being able to read the room, understand what it is, get to know your people, and then be a resource. This is the biggest thing. Like, for example, one of the biggest things that stood out to my surgeons was such a little thing was we would have numbers that we needed to give the surgeons after the procedure so they knew how to like track everything. And so one of the little things that I did was I would write those numbers onto just like the little pad that they have. Like I would have a pen with me. I would just get any piece of pad that I could, write it down, and then I would hand it to the surgeon and say, hey, thank you so much. Or, hey, here's the blade that we used today, just so you have it. Just to be as resourceful. And I can sit here and tell you, one of my surgeons told me that was the most helpful thing. And they've worked with reps for 15 plus years and no one's ever done that. And that's why they loved working with me. Just a little thing like that, writing down the numbers that takes no time out of my day just so I can help them. So when they're going back and they're doing all their notes, they can look at it and be like, oh, awesome, this is amazing. The reason I'm saying this to you guys is most people are worried about selling instead of actually getting to know what their surgeon's like. And then knowing that, like, for example, do you know your surgeon's glove size? Okay, because if you know the surgeon's glove size, what can you help a scrub tech or a nurse know when you're going into it? Like I had one surgeon, she absolutely loved jazz. It was no radio. And then when the radio was asked to be turned on, it needed to be to jazz. And if it was not on jazz, hey, we could have some problems every once in a while. So the reason I'm just saying that, go up to the staff and say, hey guys, I just wanted to let you know this doctor really enjoys this channel. I had it wrote down what channel it was. Just so you know, she'll want no music on when we're doing the introduction. We're having everything going in. But then once we get going in a little bit and the procedure's starting to start, just turn it on just a little bit and we'll be in a good spot. Every single time that happened, that surgeon would be like, oh my gosh, the radio station's on point today. This is great. And every single time I would say it was the nurse who did it. And I would be like, yep, they are on top of it. Aren't they the absolute best? We're not there to take the glory. Put it on every single buddy else or put it on everyone else because guess what's going to happen? They are going to love you. This is what it's all about, providing value. Can you make them look good? Because everybody knows, a lot of times in med device sales, if you're with a surgeon, a lot of times the scrub techs or the nurses, the people getting yelled at or getting attitude or all that stuff. Can you just make them look really good, feel really good? And guess what? That's what happened. And everyone's always like, how did you turn your territories around? It's when I would walk into the room and I would be having people high five me, asking how my week was. Hey, I actually followed you on social. Like I saw that you went hiking with your dog. And they actually cared about who I was because I always cared about them. And I made them look good. And guess what? They knew when Jacob the rep was there, cases were gonna go great. And guess what? When they didn't go great, guess who also made sure that things were taken care of? Who would take the blame if they needed to? Again, it's just being able to do that. Because let's just be clear real quick. A lot of times it was a scrub tech or a nurse that messed up. Guess what? What good does it do to throw them under the bus in front of somebody? I'll tell you, no good, because they'll absolutely just hate you. You become the rep that they absolutely hate. Things go bad from there compared to if something didn't go great. What's a learning lesson? What is something that you could coach them on next time that you're with them in the room? What is something that you could do to provide that value? And then guess what? We're there every once in a while. I'd have a talk with a surgeon and be like, hey, doc, I just wanted to let you know I did go in there. I'm so sorry the case went rough. I did ABC, but I'm going to be better on, I need to just get here early. I need to coach them and I'm not going to give them an option. And those, a lot of times they would understand. I'm like, I will take care of it. Don't worry, but I will take full ownership. It was taking that complete ownership, even when things don't go great. Let me just tell you, sometimes that's not fun, but are you thinking about the future? Are you thinking about what you can do better? Because it is so dang easy to blame every single buddy else, why you're not where you want to have, why the case didn't go well, all the stuff. But what did you do? Like, oh, they don't like my stuff, or the staff complains about it, do an in-service. Oh, they always are slow. Tell them that we're on a time crunch and do it in a very nice way. Get there earlier so you can, without being pushy, you can make sure it happens, right? Making sure that things are set up before you even get going into the case. So now, again, we're not bringing the patient in the room. Stuff's not all the way set up and all that good stuff. So that's what I would just continue to say there. This has always been my biggest point, and I want you all to hear it one more time. What can you do today that's going to help you in 3, 6, 9, 12 months? Because I knew when I came in taking the lowest performing territory in the nation, I wasn't going to take it from lowest performing to a top 10 territory overnight. I wasn't going to do it in 3 months. But I was like, if I do something every single day, build that trust, build the relationships, be a resource in these rooms, continue to show up on the times I say I'm going to do, follow up like I say I do, be responsible, just do literally what I say I'm going to do and show that time after time, and also not be a jerk when I'm there and just be a resource and people actually liked me. Things started turning around real fast. And then they're like, what are you doing? Oh my gosh. And it went back to me always being like, I'm not here to be the medical device sales rep. I'm here to be Jacob McLaughlin, the personal trainer. Because guess what you have to do as a personal trainer? You have to get to know the person you're talking to. You have to understand why they are where they're at, what is motivating them, what has gotten them there, and what is making them now drive even more. You have to know how to push them, but you also have to know you push them too hard, they're not coming back. Guess what? You don't push them hard enough, they're not coming back because they're not getting results. It's a fine line. And so what I've just been able to learn is how can I come in, get to know somebody, and be able to have those relationships, build it, be responsible, follow up, do all the things, and just trust. If I do the right things, 3 months from now, 6 months from now, 9 months from now, we'll get better. Because just so you know, when you first start, you're trying to create the relationships. You're trying to talk to these people. You're trying to do that. Compared to 9 months into my job or a year into my job, guess what happens? Walk in. Jacob, what's up, dude? Hey, we already got this done. Hey, thanks for the in-service. Hey, they already like you. And now I can sit here and tell you, everyone's like, hey, how'd you crush these numbers? How'd you do this? Become a resource. You've saved some people a couple times on like, hey, they forgot to order. And now you brought some trunk stock or whatever it is. And then guess what? At the end of the year, when it's our thing, and I'm like, hey, it would be great if you could make a couple extra orders for me. You're going to need them anyway. But it would be great if you could get that in. Guess what? Had a good enough relationship, got some big orders in. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, how do you do it? It's because I made relationships. I showed my resource. Guess what? There were times if I didn't have a crazy day, instead of just being like, did my case, got out, I would go talk to materials management. I would go talk to purchasing, and I'd just create relationships with them. I would ask if I can bring them a coffee. I would just get to know their life. Where can I provide value? And again, let me just make this really clear so everyone can hear it. I did it because I truly, actually cared. I still text those people. I can't get a purchase order from them. I can't get like, oh, they can't benefit me for the fact of like, oh, they can't give me these surgeons or whatever. It was because I actually truly cared about them and they could tell that. That's what I will just end on is so many sales reps. You guys all come in and you're like, what sale can I get? What can I get? Oh, it only benefits me. And when the moment you start focusing on not benefiting yourself and just benefiting the other people, you will have your quotas get slammed. You will crush it and you will actually make more money than you ever could imagine. But most of you can't do that. You only focus on you. You focus on your numbers. You focus on the sales that you need, and you focus on everything that's about you. And it's why you're not hitting your numbers. It's why your territories aren't growing. It's why you're not successful. But the moment you flip this and you focus only on your accounts, the patient on the table, the surgeons that you're with, the actual staff that's there, how you can help them, you will have more success than you know what to do with. And that's what I just needed to get out to. Whether you're just broke in, it's your first day or your first week, whether you've been in for 6 to 12 months, whether you've been in for 5 years, it doesn't matter because I still see it. It's hilarious to me. I'll go talk to reps who've been in for 4, 7, 10 years and they're like, oh, how are you doing this or how are you doing that? It's because I just care about them. If I say I'm going to do an email, I do my emails. If I say I'm going to follow up, I follow up. If I say I'm going to be somewhere at 9 a.m., I'm there at 9 a.m. and I'm there before there. I'm just ready for the 9 a.m. meeting. But I can sit here and tell you, most reps that I talk to can't follow up, don't show up on time, always have something in, and going back to they always are looking to sell. Yes, we are in sales, 1,000%. But the moment you focus on not just selling all the time and you actually just switch it into providing value, which just so you know, my friends, will turn into more sales, your whole life in medical device sales will change. So I hope this is helpful. If you think this is helpful for someone that you know in medical device sales, please share it to them. If you can share it on LinkedIn, it means the world to us as we continue to grow this channel. Because like I said, my friends, I am just here to help you. I just want you all to win. I want you to grow because you guys winning doesn't make me lose. It's something that we can all be better at. And because at the end of the day, if you guys are better at what you're doing, you're going to save more patients' lives and you're going to impact patients' lives in a better manner. And that's what this is all about. So if you can press the like and subscribe button, it would mean the world. If you can share this message with somebody, greatly be appreciated. A 5-star review helps us grow this channel. And if you guys ever have any questions or need any help, you guys can always reach out to us at LinkedIn at New to Medical Device Sales or Jacob McLaughlin. We also have the First Year In page. Again, just always happy to provide as much value as I can. I hope you all have a great week. I hope you're having a great start to 2024. And let's go make even more impact. Let's go crush your quotas. Let's go be great sales reps and have a positive impact on this world. Appreciate y'all. See you on the next one.